late afternoon, whatever it may be. But it's the gold, the essence of gold, and it's so intricately linked with what I want to share with you and the process that we're actually going to undertake this evening. Okay, so without further ado, let's just go into the background webcast. Those of you who are regulars who have shared this space on a number of occasions will know that the format that I usually take is to share some information with you before we actually go into the diamond process transmission itself. And I find it's really helpful to have a visual representation of some of the information because it just helps to relate to it a little bit more easily. So we've got the diamond being birthed and emanating from a golden container, cocoon. So first thing today, in respect of the Mayan Tolkien, which is their sacred calendar, we are today within the energies of the blue cosmic monkey. And the essence of today is really, may the energy of the blue monkey help me to get connected with my inner child in order to take it easy and to play with humor. So that is, and there's been a lot of people talking about this equinox. Hi, Anne, welcome. Talking about the energies around this space as being an opportunity for us to reconnect with the essence and the energy of joy. And that really is, you know, sort of that spontaneity, that joy of the inner child. I'm guided by the power of vision. And we are within cosmic tone 13, which ends what is known as the wave spell. And we've got a new program coming up starting on the 3rd where Mariella is going to share some really profound information with us on how we can work with the sacred Tolkien calendar more effectively. But cosmic tone 13 is about transcending and expanding presence. So we expand our presence through the humor and the love and the innocence and the adventure of our inner child. So let's make it our focus to actually access the inner child and that lightness, to be able to bring that lightness back into life. So I see Isabel's typing here in the chat room. Yeah, if anybody has a comment, hi Isabel, please just make a little note in the chat room because then I can actually see and respond. Now, what's of relevance that I really want to share with, because I feel it's very important, is this equinoctial procession, this procession of the equinoxes. And many of you will be familiar with this concept of equinoctial procession, but it's that which describes cosmic time. It is the various ages which define, if you like, our planetary cycles through our solar system and through our particular galactic environment. And the way that it works is that because of the Earth's wobble and our relationship with our sun, it looks as if over great spans of time that we move backwards through the signs of the zodiac as seen, backgrounding the rise of the sun on the morning of the spring equinox. So this is usually measured. Now, you've heard the expression, we know that it's been bandied around sort of really, really strongly, that we are heading into the age of Aquarius, okay? So here we're looking at the age of Aquarius, and what that means is that for a cosmic time period of about 2,160 years, it would look from the northern hemisphere at the spring equinox as if our sun rises with the constellation of Aquarius in the background on the morning of the equinox, and it does that for over 2,000 years. And that's really what they mean when they say we are entering into the age of Aquarius. But something that I picked up recently, and I feel this is so important and so significant, is that if this is the measure of cosmic time in the northern hemisphere, what is happening is that the vernal or spring equinox sunrise is actually happening in the southern hemisphere within the constellation of Leo. And these two signs oppose each other and they bring balance. Aquarius is actually the energetics and the sign of air and the mind. So we're really talking about the mind. And if we look at what's happening in the northern hemisphere, we do actually see the mind actually governing so many of the actions. If you like, mind, mental technology, huge leaps and bounds in technology. In the southern hemisphere, which everybody seems to perhaps not take that much cognizance of, we actually have the sign of Leo, and that's ruled by the heart. And the heart helps to balance the mind. And it's this leonine essence and energy that is actually so significant with Nilotic Meridian, and the appearance of white lions and the messages that we actually have through the appearance of these white lines and the process that we're going to do today, which helps us to balance the land masses. We're going to balance the energies through the land masses, balancing the heart with the mind within ourselves, and we're going to send that out into the planet through the Nilotic Meridian. And that's the focus of today's session. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. This just seems to be the Age of Aquarius, and all of the ancient knowledge that has actually been shared has come from the Northern Hemisphere. So all of these observations that have been made about the Age of Aquarius have been made within the Northern Hemisphere context. So what I want to do is bring the Southern Hemisphere actually into play. And let's not forget that this is the source and the origin of the heart energy, which helps us to maintain balance. In fact, it has been said, I'm going to show you it in a moment, Nilotic, Nilotic, the Nilotic Meridian. It has been said in a number of publications, I think Drunvalo, Melchizedek, and a number of others have said that a lot of the essence of what we would refer to as the New Age is actually arising out of the Southern Hemisphere. And they've named, or they've been places named like Peru and some of the South American places, certainly some of the Southern Islands, etc., that this is where real energy and essence to hold the Golden Age in place is actually arising from. It's arising in the Southern Hemisphere and feeding the Northern Hemisphere to hold the balance. So this was a reference that I found. Sorry, I just wanted to specify that because I'd mentioned that it's the Age of Aquarius and the Age of Leo, balancing everything out. It is not just one. Okay, so this is just a definition of precession for those of you that may not be familiar with it. Precession is the gradual seeming backwards movement of the outer visible universe and is used to determine the astrological age we are in. We are presently consensus belief in the Piscean age, moving into the Age of Aquarius. This is determined by locating the sun's position in the zodiac at the exact moment of the vernal or spring equinox, and that's in the northern hemisphere. Every 72 years, the sun backs up approximately 1 degree. An astrological age is the amount of time it takes for the sun to move backwards through one complete astrological sign, and that's 2,160 years, which is the length of an astrological age. So 3,000 years ago, on the vernal equinox, i.e. spring equinox, the sun was in the sign of Aries. This, of course, was during the age of Aries, the great age of the Egyptian Empire. So you'll see, let's just go back to this slide. If this is actually moving backwards, okay, we would move backwards from Aries into Pisces and then into Aquarius. So 3,000 years ago, we were in Aries, and that would have been balanced by Libra on the other side. Okay, so those two constellations and those two qualities would need to be looked at in context and in support of each other, because there's always a balancing factor. This is just an indication of the cosmic wheel. It is a model as well on which are termed the four faces of God. And here you see again autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. We would see the sun rising in the constellation of the Lion. The spring equinox, Man or Aquarius. So we see the two opposing each other. Now the Nilotic Meridian, which is very, very interesting, is a meridian that actually stretches through. It originates on the plains of Giza in the area of the Giza Plateau with the pyramids and the Great Sphinx. And this line runs, it's approximately 31 degrees east longitude. It runs all the way down the length of Africa. And along this line, this has been known about for many years in indigenous cultures, but I really found out about it, and it came into conscious awareness through reading Linda Tucker's book on the mystery of the white lions, because she talks extensively about it, and she also brought in some of the indigenous wisdom and information that was shared by Credo Mutwa, very, very well-known South African shaman. What is fascinating about this is that this line connects the plains of Giza and the plateau here with the Great Sphinx, and obviously that leonine symbolism. It is said that the Sphinx dates back at least 10,500 years, and that the Sphinx notes 10,500 years ago when the equinoctial sun rose in the sign of Leo in the northern hemisphere. So if we actually come down here, and now we've gone like one whole half a cycle of the equinoctial movement, and we see the sun rising here in the Age of Aquarius, but we follow this line down, and the sun would be rising in the southern hemisphere in the zodiacal sign of Leo. Now, following this down, we actually come through some sacred sites in Zimbabwe, which used to be called Rhodesia. This line passes through the Zimbabwe ruins, so all of the symbolism of the lion is actually held in this southern hemisphere area. Zim means gold, and Zimba means lion, and it is actually well known that the lion is associated A with gold, B with the sun, and with the spirit, okay, and the heart. Very, very strong link with the heart. So we're building the heart energy. We want to infuse this Nilotic Meridian with the heart energy. And we come further down on this line, and this line runs through a place in southern Africa called Timbavati, which is where the sacred white lions actually started appearing on the planet in around about 1975. And they almost went extinct because they've actually been hunted, and through the efforts of Linda Tucker, their presence is actually being restored. So this line runs right through the home of the birth of these sacred white lions that are actually reappearing. It also runs through some sacred sites in southern Africa, notably a place called Adam's Calendar, in a little place called Kaapsehoop, and also in the area where many, many amazing stone circles have been found. And those stone circles actually embrace or hold very specific electromagnetic energy, which form a communication system for the planet. And it's all in this southern African area here, which is coming alive at this time. And it's coming alive because it is feeding the heart energy back through this meridian so that we can balance the land masses. And that's really the point of significance that I wanted to make. So I just want to share with you quickly, before we go into the process itself, some of the information that Credo Mutwa shared in respect of the Nilotic Meridian. One of the interesting factors about the Nilotic Meridian is that it defines the center of the Earth's landmass, the geographical epicenter. It seemed to me that not only does it hold the continent of Africa together, but it represents a seam holding the Earth's land masses together. Both the Egyptian and African traditions converge on one conclusion. The Nilotic Meridian is sacred beyond comparison because it represents the beginning of time when lion gods or lion shamans, lion-hearted, powerful beings walked among men. Let me just find here. First appearing at Timbuktu on the Nilotic Meridian. The Nilotic Meridian is also known by the ancient Egyptian priests as Zep Tepi, the line of the first time. And this is where the sacred white lions are actually being reborn onto and into the line of the first time. They are actually reminding us to reconnect with the depth of heart that fueled those grand ancient golden civilizations so that we can support their rebirth on the planet at the moment. There is also, let me just make a, sorry, I've got some notes here I just want to share with you. So gold is equated with lions, and lions are also identified with the heart and with the sun. Credo Mutwa describes gold as an entity. Gold's natural existence in the bowels of our planet is essential to life on Earth. More specifically, it controls the existence and flow and purification of fresh water. Gold is not simply a physical metal, but it is a spiritual metal with a profound metaphysical purpose. By mining gold, human beings are enslaved to forces of which they are not even aware. So what we want to do is we also want to re-energize the entity that is gold that is within the landmass. At the highest level of priesthood, gold and sacred knowledge are one and the same, the one being the spiritual form of the other. According to Credo Mutwa, the hidden meaning of the word Zimbabwe revolves around the core word Zim, meaning gold, and Zimba, meaning lion. So here we have sort of Zimbabwe and lion and heart and gold all linked here. There is a legendary underground river which Credo Mutwa says holds the continent of Africa together. It is associated with water energy, with a subterranean vein of gold, as well as with a mystifying notion of a shower of stars beneath the Earth's crust, approximating the spinal fluid of the Milky Way. So it's running through the essence of this particular meridian is the spinal fluid of Earth herself. Yeah, let me make a note for you where Adam's calendar is. If you Google it, you'll find out, but it's Kaapse Hoop. I'm just going to put this in the chat room for you. Maureen asked a question wanting to know the place of the Adam's calendar and the stone circles. Michael Tellinger himself did a lot of work on that score. Now, what is also significant is especially on the southern aspects of this meridian, there are clusters of gold mines and gold smelting, ancient gold smelting sites that the ancient peoples knew how to mold and to smelt gold. Although it's actually, as it's mentioned here, it is the spirit of gold, which is actually really, really significant. So what we want to do is regenerate and revive the spine of the earth mass. We want to actually get that fluid moving through this line. We want to regenerate it with the essence of the heart. So we do that within ourselves first, and we're going to take a journey through this Nilotic Meridian. And then the image, and again, I just want to say thank you to Ali, who's on the call with us, who has communicated with the White Lions, and this was the keynote that she brought forward, although there are other messages from the White Lions. Step into your own magnificence and let your stories unfold. This is our time to step into our magnificence. And there's Ali's website if anybody wants to go and have a look. And I just loved this image of the royal and regal white lion. It is just the most beautiful beautiful image of the sacred white lions. So we're going to work with the spirit of the white lion, as well as with the spirit of gold as we journey through the Nilotic Meridian today. So does anybody have any questions? I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just really wanted to point that out because it's something that not many people know about, and we focus so much on the Egyptians and the Egyptian wisdom without perhaps realizing that that wisdom has actually been embodied and embraced through the indigenous cultures all the way through Africa, and that there is an inextricable link between that golden culture and what is arising now in the southern hemisphere. There's probably a link with Kundalini because this, you could say, it represents the spinal fluid. So energy does rise up through the Kundalini, and it represents the geophysical center of the Earth's land masses. But that's just my response to it. It has been said that the Kundalini at the moment is actually seated in South America, in Peru. I don't know about that. I just inherently connect with the significance of this particular energetic meridian that runs through the landmass. And it's really fascinating for me that a year ago I was drawn to move back from the Northern Hemisphere back to the Southern Hemisphere and to Southern Africa. To spend some time here. So it's a case of balancing also the mind and what has actually been discovered and researched with the heart, and expanding the heart essence or energy. Does anybody else have any comments or questions before we actually go into this? So when I ask you to connect with this meridian, we're going to start off with the Giza Plateau. That you will just be able to visualize yourself traveling through the continent. To me, I found it very significant because the equinox is about balance. The equinox, both of the equinoxes are about balancing day and night, balancing light and dark. It's about balance in all of its aspects. So we really look at balancing the spinal energy through linking the heart with the mind, with the brain. So let me just have a look here. Ali says, just wanted to share one more bit of symbolism from the work I did with the white lions. The secret of alchemy is to put the fire beneath the water. And in the coming age, we have the age of Leo, or fire, beneath the age of Aquarius, water on our planet. Thank you, Ali. That is really, really profound. I hope you guys have actually picked up that comment. That is really interesting. And that's something that Ali was given from the White Lions themselves. So that to me is actually really powerful, powerful, powerful insight. So that's how we engage in alchemy within. The fire beneath the water. And if you think about it, when we think about the diamond, so for those of you who've done this before, the diamond, where it anchors at the base of our spine, actually lights the fire. It ignites the spark and ignites the fire below the water of the spinal fluid that then actually arises. So that's how that alchemy takes place. So there is an intricate link between that phrase and our internal alchemy that takes place when we are anchored firmly within our diamond energy and diamond space. I hope that makes sense for you. Yep. Any comments before we actually start with the process? Anything else anybody would like to add? Nope, you're all ready. Well, we've had the sound holding up so far. Okay, so if you're all ready, then I'd like to ask you to make yourselves comfortable. And to gently close your eyes. Okay, somebody's typing. Pick it up later. The time that we're starting the process, Elaine has just noted across the pond that it is 11:33 a.m. 33 is obviously it's quite a number. It is also a number that's strongly associated with the essence, the golden essence of the diamond, of our diamond. So sorry, I just had to add that for you. That's just such beautiful synchronicity. Okay. So make yourselves comfortable. Gently close your eyes and begin by taking a long, slow, deep breath in as you allow yourself to simply rest into this place and space on this amazing and powerful equinox. Just follow your breath in and out as you allow it to find a natural flow and rhythm, a rhythm that is perfect for you, an ease that is not forced, but that is gentle and deep. And with each in-breath and out-breath, you allow yourself to surrender into the safety and the peace of your inner space, of your inner being. And around you now, create your diamond, and create it such that the center is aligned with the very base of your spine, and that as you breathe, your breath moves the fluid up through your spinal column, all the way up above your head to connect with your soul star energy center above your head. And it pulses down, forming a continuous central core column that connects you with the Earth star center below your feet, and then out from the base of your spine in all directions, demarcating the boundaries of your personal and sacred octahedron. Your sacred octahedron is the vehicle for your soul essence, for your golden essence, your lion-hearted essence. And it is equidistant in all directions, as two pyramids joined base to base, surrounding you, holding you in perfect balance. And expand your breathing so that your diamond begins to gently pulse and breathe with you, in and out, drawing energy in and moving energy out. And you see beyond your personal diamond your connections to an infinite fractal diamond grid. The more deeply you breathe, the stronger your connectivity with the rest of the grid becomes. And you find yourself now on the sandy plains of the Giza Plateau, with the golden sand beneath your feet. You stand amidst the gigantic pyramids, reminders of a golden age where anything was possible, a golden age of sages, priestesses, priests, initiations, and sacred knowledge. A golden age when lions pulled chariots, when they were companions for the high priests and priestesses, for the pharaohs and royalty. And you find yourself now standing between the paws of the Sphinx, looking up at this leonine form above you, in its original form, with a magnificent leonine head, reminding all of the strength of the heart in fueling a golden age. And beneath the paws of the Sphinx is the beginning of the line of Zep Tepi, the line, the meridian that runs through the planet, the line of first time, the Nilotic Meridian. Feel the pulse from beneath the earth as you stand in the space. And before we begin our journey, let's just rest into a prayer of forgiveness and release so that we cleanse, balance, and stabilize ourselves within this space. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly through my own confusions, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly through their own confusions, I forgive them. And if there is a situation I am not yet ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate, doubt, belittle myself, judge or be unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. And in that space of forgiveness, become aware of a golden ripple that begins to infuse your diamond space. That golden ripple that makes its way through as you forgive and release. Forgive yourself for all judgments, all harm, all unkindness that may have been self-directed. And the golden ripple is like a cosmic spring that wells up from the earth beneath your feet, through the earth star of your diamond, up into your space. And that golden spring enlivens your inner child. It brings with it not only a remembrance of the ancient wisdoms, it brings with it joy, a return to the ancient original innocence of our beingness. It awakens the playful inner child. And as it moves its way and ripples its way up through your body, it awakens and expands the heart, opening up your heart to receive yet more, and makes its way up through your brain, balancing the hemispheres of your brain, bringing a lightness of clarity and of truth as it ripples across the surface of your brain like veins of gold, igniting neural pathways, and continues to upwell up to your soul star energy center until your diamond is infused with the original essence of gold. And from beneath the waters of the Nile that run through the lands of Egypt, you are called by the earth herself, and you allow your consciousness, your diamond, to sink into the depths of the earth, to find the brilliance, that cosmic flow, the source of that cosmic wellspring, the source of the golden thread that connects the lions of the north and the lions of the south beneath the waters. And deep within the bowels of the earth, you are cocooned, and you are drawn down the Nilotic Meridian through the land mass of sacred Mother Africa. You feel and know the ancient stories and wisdom that have been held within this meridian for millennia, waiting to be brought back to the surface. So you travel first through Egypt, deep beneath the surface of the land itself. You are fed by this cosmic stream within the earth with those ancient wisdoms. And as you flow along this river, this vein of gold, this vein of fire beneath the surface, you come across beds of crystals, beds of diamonds, veins of copper. Each mineral has its own gift to share with you, its own source of knowledge. And you spend a while as you travel through the heart of the land, collecting the information, allowing yourself to stop when needed and embrace that wisdom in your heart. It may be a wisdom that presents itself in the form of symbols or of colors or of sounds. Or you may receive words. And as you travel through this vein within your diamond, you are not only collecting wisdom and harnessing the knowing that has actually been embedded throughout all of humanity and held within the earth herself, but through your diamond you are also broadcasting your knowledge, your gifts back into the planet herself, helping to stabilize the land masses. As the strength builds in your own diamond and your own field, the stability of the land mass is also enhanced. And you travel further south down through the Sudan, through the Great Lakes at the center of the continent, underneath those lakes. And you stop for a while when you hit the equator, for the equator is the girdle of the earth. And together as a group, you combine all of the accumulated truths, wisdoms, and love and broadcast it out along the equator, out around the planet. Just see it as a wave emanating from the center of Africa, from where you are, out around the planet, through all continents. And you travel down through Tanzania, through Zambia, and you get a sense through some of these places of rich veins beneath the earth and the amazing vast plains and endless skies above. The alchemy that is fueling the emerging new age and the transformation on this planet is taking place both deep within the earth and within your own cellular structure through the spinal column of the Nilotic Meridian. The fluid begins to pulse as the fluid in your own spine begins to pulse as it is threaded through with gold. And you travel down now through Zimbabwe, through that troubled land, troubled as it appears on the surface, and yet rich in heritage, deep within the earth, deep within the bowels of the mother. And you see and you know that what appears on the surface is not the reality of what is. For deep within this vein, the change is taking place. Through the ruins of Great Zimbabwe, situated on the Nilotic Meridian, through the gold fields of Zimbabwe, and then you travel down into the southern African region, through Adam's calendar, the most ancient stone circle, certainly on the African continent, if not in the world. Ancient, ancient wisdom. Through the veins of the northern part of the country that hold copper and quartz crystal together, binding them in beautiful forms. And the copper energizes and fuels the alchemy taking place within your diamond, creating electrical impulses, helping to broadcast through the planet, forming part of the veins of a communication system that extends far and wide. And then you emerge, gently coming to the surface in the land, in the area known as Timbavati, the birthplace of the modern sacred white lion. Just allow yourself to gently emerge from the earth, coming back up to the surface, and you find yourself on sandy ground with African bush and unfamiliar sounds around you. They are the sound of Africa. And you hear the distant sound of a lion roaring. And then another joins in, and another. And we all join hands together in this group, this coalescence of brilliant diamonds, forming a reflective golden light that emanates and draws the white lion closer. And there is a white lion that presents for each and every individual on the call. And you stand fearless with an expanded, open heart, holding your space on the Nilotic Meridian, holding a heart space open for these magnificent creatures who are manifesting physically at this time of change. And in that open, fearless heart space, the lions draw closer. Your particular white lion, with those amazing blue or green eyes, presents itself to you. You feel the hot breath of that lion or lioness as it approaches you. You hold out your hands in welcome, unmoving and allowing, surrendered into this space, and you welcome the sacred white lion. And you emanate the truth of all of the wisdom that you have accumulated. And the lion sees the spirit of an open heart, the spirit of one whose mission is to nourish and nurture and support the evolution of this planet, to stabilize and uplift and transform what appears to be chaos. And in that moment, you feel a pulsing through the entire core column from your soul star to your earth star. As the spirit of the white lion, the consciousness of this white lion merges with you. And you allow yourself to just spend a few moments in this space, feeling and experiencing the magnificent strength the magnificent love, the magnificent beingness, the alchemy that is fueled by this level of consciousness. Feel the cells in your body responding, feel the DNA adjusting as you embrace this lion-hearted energy in its fullness. And this consciousness is not experienced in the mind or the brain. It's experienced throughout your body via the pulsing of your heart. And allow White Lion to share whatever it contains, whatever portion of sacred wisdom is contained within its consciousness and within its heart with you. You are a living bridge between the cosmos and the earth, between the first time and now, the past and the future. A living bridge for what is being transformed, a living transformer for the planet. And each of you now forms a chain of diamonds spreading out back along the Nilotic Meridian, with the Earth star firmly planted into the meridian itself. So essentially we form a living chain of diamonds, diamonds infused with the spirit of White Lion into the Nilotic Meridian. Forming a link between the southern manifestation, the southern aspects of the heart, all the way back up to the Giza Plateau. And that fire that your diamond has been infused with, you feed through your Earth star into the meridian. And feel and become aware of the joy that is arising within you. For this is your purpose, your alchemical purpose, your sacred purpose. To hold the balance for the planet. Through balancing and holding your own space, and assisted and supported by the amazing, magnificent energy of White Lion. Allow that joy and that vibrancy and that living light to emanate through that meridian, through the land masses, into the water, seeding new memories, new wisdoms, new constructs, modern awareness into the sacred waters that flow beneath the meridian. So from above and below, that water, that sacred water, is fueled and imprinted and purified. At the same time, the water within your own body, all of the water, is purified and filtered, energized and enlivened. And as you stand linked with the other diamonds, bridging this Nilotic Meridian between north and south, your soul star opens up and you receive a download of cosmic energy, a burst that emanates forth from this equinox sun and enters through your soul star into your diamond, through your body and into the earth. You receive the upgrades, the energetic upgrades that are needed for the planet, not only for ourselves, but for the planet, for the Great Mother. You may be aware of which star systems or parts of the galaxy their particular downloads are coming from. Just rest into the space for a moment and allow yourself to hear, to listen, to feel, and to know what is being given to you through your sacred stance and your position on this sacred meridian. And the cosmic downloads begin to ease and slow down. And you allow your consciousness to begin to reconnect with your physical being. And you extend your gratitude to the sacred white lion for holding the space, for granting and sharing with you the strength, the wisdom, the courage, and the love. And even as his consciousness departs, there is an aspect that remains forever connected with you. These magnificent star beings have also been gifted through you with those cosmic downloads. And there is a mutual gratitude that is expressed. You hold a part of him or her within your heart, and there is a respect that is offered to you. And now come together, all of you on the call, all within your diamonds, connecting, forming a continual circle, connecting one with each other, and just see a pulse or a ripple of energy that begins to flow from one to the next as each shares their own aspect of wisdom and their heart energy with all the others who are connected, as a golden ripple or sine wave that passes through all of the diamonds that you are. And you realize the strength of this collective heart energy, this collective knowingness, the power of collective intention. And the energy builds until, with a sonic boom almost, that expands out and ripples as a wave around the entire planet. And then comes back, reinfusing the group. Just hold this space as you continue to send out that combined energy around the planet, receiving it back, sending it out, receiving it back. Each time expanding your heart beyond all limitation, till you just become a pulsing, living, breathing heart within your diamond, giving and receiving. That pulse that goes out energizes all of the other Equinox intentions and all the other groups gathering to broadcast and see their intentions for the planet. For the diamond amplifies everything brought within it. Now allow those ripples to slow down as you take a deep breath in. And you see and feel and experience a deep and abiding peace in the core of your being. A peace that is infused with trust. Trust in the Spirit, the guiding spirit of all of life. A peace that emanates out wherever you go, wherever you are. And you release your connection to the circle, but you're aware of the brilliance of the diamond grid that surrounds you. The diamond grid of which you are a vital and intricate part. Once more, extend your gratitude as you take a deep breath in. Reconnect your consciousness with your physical body. Feel your fingers, feel your toes. Adjust your body as you become familiar once more with your physical space. Take a deep breath in and out with a sigh as you prepare to return to waking consciousness. Balanced, calm, peaceful, upgraded, and welcome back. Okay, how are you doing? There's a few comments coming into the chat room. I hope that the sound was okay through that. There were one or two comments coming up during the process of the sound quality fading, so I don't know if that was a general thing. Okay, so we've got some typing going on. I'm just going to leave the recording line open as well to share. Oh, that's lovely. I thank you from my magenta heart space. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing this. It's the collective. Oh, I love that. Elaine says, kept seeing white line weaving in and out of our diamond chain going up the meridian. Yeah, I was actually not quite seeing the white lion, but I could see and sense that chain anchored into the meridian. Rachel said was taken out of it somewhere along the journey, having pressure on my third eye and my toes are tingling. Thank you. Yeah, strong connection through the Earth star with this process, strong anchoring in of that energy. So we've got a couple more comments coming in. I like to just read them out so those who are only able to connect in with recording also get a sense of the experiences and the sharing. So it's wonderful that you guys are um, connecting in. Thank you. Cheryl says, at the moment our personal white lion stepped in, the click occurred. Oh, Cheryl, that's just amazing. Some of you may or may not be aware that sometimes when we work with the diamond, there is a click as the diamond actually connects strongly in place at the base of the spine. So not everybody experiences it, but some people do, and Cheryl's actually experienced that a couple of times. So that's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Cheryl. Let's see what other comments we've got. Thank you, much gratitude. Isabel says, thank you for this lovely gathering once again. Thank you, Isabel. Love the strong diamond connection with divine earth, the waters especially, and the white lion as well. Yeah, thank you for that. There was a very strong sense of that what I saw, actually, what was in my vision as you guys connected with the water was steam rising up. So it wasn't just in the water underneath the earth, there was an ignition somehow that happened with the water that sent that information, that alchemical process, out as steam into the atmosphere. So it's kind of like that imprinted information will rain back down, will refeed the earth in a different way. So I was just seeing like rivers of steam. Daryl says, wonderful to connect with the white line and the powerful energy. Thank you. Thank you. Another comment, when traveling through the earth, it was like traveling through time and space. Yeah, yeah, it was a very different, almost cosmic feel traveling through the earth rather than that earthy pulsing, if you like. It was almost as if that cosmic river was embedded within the earth, that there was a depth but a lightness to it. Very interesting. Okay. Hell You says, wonderful and very powerful. I actually feel as if I've been to sacred Africa. Love, light, and blessings. Thank you. Thank you, Hell You. Wonderful. So obviously, each person is going to experience this in their own unique way, but never doubt the power of the collective intention and the work that we do. Elaine says, what a wonderful visual, steam to rain. Thank you for also explaining the click. Anne says, thank you. Sadly, my sound was poor and fluctuating, but what I got was lovely strength and peace. What a beautiful experience to be. Renee says, a beautiful experience to be with all of you at this time. Powerful. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Some very beautiful messages and experiences, and you will get obviously you will have the recording to be able to do this again. I think it must be something, because it was those of you in the UK who actually had a problem with the sound, possibly more than the others. So hopefully the recording will be stronger for you, that you will get to experience it again. Just thank you, everybody. We know that the energy is still transmitted, even though you might lose some of the words. So there was a little bit more typing going on. So Hal, you says, after the initial start, my sound was fine. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. I think it did have something to do with those areas in the UK, because it was two of you from the northeast of the UK. Maria says, brilliant as always. Ah, thank you. Wonderful visuals throughout. Thank you. My sound was excellent here in the UK. That's fantastic. It's nice to have a different view of Africa. We don't really think about how ancient it actually is. That's something that I've really been connecting with since I've been back, Rachel. That's an interesting comment, because I've begun to appreciate it in a different way. We tend to think of it as one of the new civilizations, as the third world and developing, but there is an ancientness that runs through this land. Elaine says, thank you all for joining together, and Julie for your amazing voice. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Elaine. Mayong says, I was in and out of consciousness. Yes, that's what happens as well when we tend to go really deep in these processes. So if there's anything else that any of you would like to share, perhaps that arises as a consequence of this, I would love to hear from you. You may actually find, sort of little prompts or insights or images arising of connections with Africa or lions, heart, whatever it might be. So if there's anything that you'd like to share, would love to hear from you. So welcome any of your emails and insights, and I hope you enjoy listening to the recording again. And thank you so much, all of you, from the bottom of my heart, for being a part of this process. It felt really, really important to focus on infusing, not just extracting the wisdom from, but infusing and energizing this Nilotic Meridian. And thanks also to the Spirit of the White Lions for supporting us. Thank you all for taking the time and for adding your energy to this process. Rachel says, looking on the map, it's interesting how close Africa is to the areas of the world where we have such conflict. Yes, that's a very interesting observation, because this meridian continues running up into Turkey, where we also have those amazing ancient ruins. Göbekli Tepe, I was trying to think of the name there, Göbekli Tepe. And if we actually follow this meridian even further up, it intersects with Chernobyl in Russia, which is really interesting, because it was, sort of big nuclear disaster, meltdown. It has actually been said or speculated that the appearance of the white lines is actually due to mutation as a consequence of radiation. So one actually wonders whether the radiation from Chernobyl through this meridian, this sacred meridian, has actually had something to do with the appearance of the white lines, because they also are here to warn us. They're here to support us in accessing the heart. They're here to warn us of the consequences if we don't recover the sacred wisdom of the heart and apply that to our lives. And to living on the planet. Yeah, I don't know. It is just very interesting. It's 31 degrees, approximately 31 degrees east. So, and says, I wonder where it goes around the world. It may be interesting to actually do a bit of further research on that. It just is focused about, because it's mentioned in ancient knowledge by the Egyptians, and it's known about by most of the African cultures. They relate to it. So there's lots of wisdom. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'll stay online for a few moments if anybody else wants anything to share, but I just want to formally say thank you to all of you who've been a part of this process of elevating and lifting the heart and fueling that heart energy into the rest of the land masses of the planet. Thank you for your participation and for being here. God bless.